All right. Moving right on along. Yeah, we're still in those touchy topics this week. Hopefully they're not like too uncomfortable for you, but if you do not know, I've already shared that there is nothing that's really off limits when it comes to me. It's a part of that authenticity, like transparency part of ourselves. And hopefully that is like an all the time thing for you. I don't know, what your vibe is, but for me it is. And so, right. Hopefully it's not too uncomfortable for you, but get comfortable with being uncomfortable, especially in life. There's a lot of things that go on, and it's crazy because we really love to like hide things, and we love to just like throw things under the rug as if it's not happening amongst everybody else in this world. Like we're not experiencing the same life transitions or stages or crazy lemons that are being thrown our way. And so, yeah, one of the topics that I wanted to go into today, right? Definitely dealing with sexuality. So, if you all don't know, I have a background in counseling and therapy, and so talking is kind of my thing, background in studying it. And so, yeah, I tend to talk about these things and I enjoy it because not only does it expose people to different things that we experience from day to day, but it also helps us become more like self aware, and also it exposes us to new things, right? Helps us learn all this different stuff. And so for today, like I just came back from right. I told the lady while I was there, like, drum roll, please, I just came back from doing my testing for HIV and STDs. And we're gonna go there today, okay? Because there's so many stigmas attached to so many things. But it's funny because whenever people are going and doing these types of tests, you automatically get these labels placed on you or these assumptions as to why you're doing it. I think some people would say like, oh, they're easy, and oh, they're this and they're that and they're boopa boppy boopy, and it's like all these different things. But I really hope that me talking about it openly like this, I really hope that it does give people more courage and confidence to just make sure you are up to date on your health, and also make sure that you are aware of like the risk and stuff with different things that you're doing in life. So there's no like easy way to like smooth our way into this. And so we're just gonna go ahead and dive in like we have been, right, this whole week. Pretty much for me, I'm going to tell you at least some of the reasons why I decided to go. It is not my first time doing it, but this is my first time doing a rapid test for the HIV. But just being able to go and test for these things are very important because sometimes you do not see the symptoms or feel them or any of those types of things. And especially if you are sexually active, this is important to do. I was looking up some of the other like health risks and stuff like that, and they talked about like sharing needles, or like if you're ever sexually assaulted, or it was something else like if you engage in those types of practices for some type of compensation or what have you. It's all these different things that come along with being basically exposed to STIs or HIV. And so I know it's like, are you uncomfortable right now? I don't right. I don't know. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but at the same time, yeah, I want you to get comfortable with being in these types of conversations and just being exposed to it because it's important for our health, right? And for me, like I said, some of the reasons that I went to do it is because I know that I came out of a relationship in the past. Like I'm divorced, and so anytime that you have been with a partner or anytime that you're getting with any new partners, it's a really good time to do the testings, because you want to make sure that you're not bringing something to somebody else. And also, you want to make sure that you don't have something yourself. And this is what I want to talk about, right? I'm for real, because all throughout my like teens and 20s and even into my 30s, I've just been a type where, no judgment, but I've just been a type where it's just like, I don't know you. Like, right? I'm not that person that, I'm just gonna be doing things with people, because it's like I need to for real know who you are and all these types of things. Like, I just know, like, people that, do things and it's like the first day or you're just meeting them, and please believe you me, I've been around this where it has happened, and it's just like, that's so scary to me. That's so scary to me to like be, of course I have no fears, but I'm just saying the risk that can come from that, and not knowing these people's like sexual history or who they've been with or like what they have, and then just engaging in that, it's extremely risky behavior. So I know some people out there, like, they rebellious, like they call themselves rebels, or like they just spontaneous and all that. It's like, do you all day. But I'm just encouraging everyone, like, make sure you are getting tested. Okay. Again, one of the reasons why, right, I decided to get tested, because for real, even though we get into relationships, or, it could be a serious relationship, a casual relationship, just an encounter, whatever the case may be, we can only go off of what people are telling us. You get what I'm saying? We want to trust all day, right? Like, we want to trust all day that what they're saying is the truth, and that what they're doing, you're aware of and all that. But the fact of the matter is, anything can happen in life. Things go down. And again, you are engaging in these types of behaviors with other people, and they could be engaging with somebody else or not. You just never know. And so for me, I felt like that was the best thing to do, right? Like, that's the best thing to do if you are going to engage in those types of I'm just going to call them engagements. If you want to engage in whatever that is you call it, then you should make sure that you're getting tested. I'm going to highly encourage it, because it's just, we live in a different time now, and it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. And so, yeah, I'm completely clear. I'm fine, right? I knew I would be, but God is good, right? But also just the fact that I practice abstinence. So, of course, we have all these different protections or what have you that you can engage in. For people who don't know, you might want to go educate yourself on it. That's not my area, which I thought was pretty cool, because when I went out, they had an actual educator that can share information about, what the STD or STIs are, HIV is, and, the process and things to look out for, and how often you should test, all these different things. It's an educator there, which I thought was awesome. And so if you ever need to, gain some insight into it, I was really excited to know that it's so many places that offer it for free, within all types of communities. And it has that access for you, whether you have health insurance or not, whether you have the funds or not. The fact that it's free and it's readily accessible to people, I always jump right for joy with that, because that can seriously be a barrier for so many people, and our health is important. And so I'm encouraging people to also do that if you don't know much about it, or if you engage in that type of stuff but you don't get tested. Like, know that it is free, and that it's something that you should be doing often. Right? If you are switching up partners, if you're getting into new partners, if you have certain risky behaviors, like you don't use any type of protections and stuff like that, it's really good to go do that. But for me, I was kind of reflecting, because I was like, something I really want to talk about for the day is the thing that a lot of people don't like to hear about. Right? Like, especially if you are a believer or if you're a Christian. I know many times I've heard over the years how it can be a true challenge, like lots of temptation, to just say no, right? Like, I'm making it sound like drugs, but yeah, it's it's a lot of temptation around that, to just say no. And I'm going to tell you one of the ways that it's really easy for me. Like, Seriously, abstinence is like really easy for me at this point in my life, because once you realize like what the Bible is saying about your body, it is a life changer. It's a difference, right? Like when we're growing up and we're younger, you just know, no, you need to not be doing that because you don't want to get pregnant, or, like you don't want to get somebody else pregnant, or, like, oh, you don't want to catch anything, or, oh, you don't even know if you're going to end up with that person, and all types of things. And then also for believers, we just know flat out it's wrong, right? But we don't always know the real, like, in-depth meaning as to why God is like, no. And so I'm going to encourage everyone, especially if you're a believer or you're a Christian, I'm encouraging you to go over to a local Bible near you. I'm always spreading the news. Like a local Bible near you. And I'm in 1 Corinthians 6. I believe it's 12 through 20. Okay. And the way it starts off, like, this is perfect, right? Like the way it starts off says, I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. Right. And so just the way that this starts off lets you know, like, we have the power, the control of our bodies to do whatever we want, engage in whatever we want to, but everything is not going to be good for us, right? Like everything is not good for you. And so as you keep reading on, it starts to talk about like our bodies and how seriously, just like we always hear that saying that comes out, two become one, right? Like two is becoming one. Two flesh are becoming one flesh, right? That is real. I don't know if people think about that, but this is a real thing. Like when I used to go into like women's health classes and stuff like that, or talk with friends and, people I was around, it would always be that, like, how you engage in these different practices with people, and then it's like somebody's getting clingy, or like now someone is in love, or like, like all it's like some type of issue where it's like you're feeling closer, you're feeling more bonded, you're feeling more attached. And it's like, yeah, that's real. Like we want to, put all of this logical science behind it when we're explaining what's happening when you decide to engage in that type of behavior with someone. Let me stop saying it like that. When you decide to engage in some type of sexual encounter with somebody, like we explain it using science and saying like, this is why you get so bonded, or why you feel like you so close, or, all these different things. And biblically, he's telling you like, this is a spiritual thing, right? Like you're becoming one with this person when you decide to do that. Like we have all of these things that we can have occur outside of the body, but when it's inside the body, it is like for real dealing with Christ. And let me like go into what he's saying there. So I'm gonna keep reading. It says, I'm in 1 Corinthians now 6, and I'm just gonna keep reading. It's gonna be a little bit confusing, but the good part I'll tell you. So he says, 1 Corinthians 6:13, you say food for the stomach and the stomach for food, and God will destroy them both. The body, however, the body, where am I? However, is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. Okay, hopefully I didn't confuse you with how I said that. But basically he's telling you, right? Like your body is meant for him. Like our body is meant to honor him in every way, right? And so he keeps going with, by his power, God raised the Lord from the dead, and he will raise us up also. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ himself? Shall I then take the members of Christ and unite them with the prostitute? Never. Do you not know that he who unites himself with a prostitute is one with her in body? For it is said, the two will become one flesh. But whoever is united with the Lord is one with him in spirit. So you get what I'm like, he putting it in there and letting us know, like, it's not just about the physical body, right? Like, but you are one in spirit with Christ, which means our body is sacred. Like, it's for real sacred. And if he's telling us we are of the light, like we are, of all things good and stuff like that, and he tells us in other scripture, like, what do light and darkness have to do with each other? Nothing. And so, like, right? And so if we choose to engage in that type of practice where it's like something that's not of him, right? Then it's almost like, well, it's not almost like he's gonna say it when I keep reading it. It's like you sinning against yourself, like you sinning within your body. And I'm gonna tell you specifically what he's saying with that. So 1 Corinthians 6:18. He says, flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. Right? And so then when you read it like that, I don't know, we're all at different points of faith in our journeys, right? Like we're all at different points, and he's working on us with different things and stuff like that. But I just know for a lot of people who you might feel tempted, or you might not feel like it's an issue, or whatever the case may be, it's like he's letting us know, like, this is a very sacred act to do. When we're engaging in any type of sexual encounter, like, we are becoming one with these individuals that we are with, right? It's more than just something where it's like, oh, and now we bonded and we're so close, and like all these different things. But it's like, no, for real, you are becoming one with this person. You are becoming one flesh. And when you think about it, it's like, if you're for real honoring your body, and I'm just gonna speak from my perspective. It's like, if I'm for real honoring my body, and he's saying, like, I'm brought at a price and it is his and it is sacred, it's like I'm trying to do only with it what he wants me to do with it. You get what I'm saying? And if he's telling me, like, sexual immorality is not good because you're going to be bonding with a whole bunch of people, or you're going to be bonding with some people that may not be of him, you get what I'm saying? Like, because you're going to know when something comes from him, right? But yeah, when we're bonding with things that aren't of him, now not only are you sinning externally, but he's saying, like, you sinning against your own body, right? And I feel like that for me did it. Like, right? And it hasn't been hard ever since, like, for years. So I practice abstinence because that is the safest way to, first of all, not catch anything. Right? That's the safest way to not get pregnant if you're not intending to actually have any children at that time, or with that individual, whatever. And it's also a way to for real honor God, right? And that should be like our number one thing. Like, it's not as if we engage in these practices and we don't know that it's not right to do. It's the fact that we feel like we don't have enough self-control to, like, stop it, or be like, God is more important and my body is more important to me. Like, this, my body, right? My body deserves the one that God is giving to me, right? Like, when he's telling us our body is sacred and it's a temple of him, like the spirit for real, it's like, yeah, he wants you to keep it pure. He wants you to make sure that you're keeping it healthy. He wants you to make sure that you're taking care of it, and that it is being used as he wants us to use it, right? And he does say, be fruitful and multiply now, right? But at the same time, what do he say? He who finds a wife finds a good thing, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. And same thing with, for people who would say, like, certain, spouses or whatever that come into their life, it's like, that's from the Lord. So it's a difference, right? It's not saying you can't do anything at all, but it is saying, like, honor your body. Your body is important because it is one in spirit with Christ. It's one in spirit with him. And not only that, but it's like, value it so much that it's like, you have to be worthy of this body. Like, right? You have to be worthy to become one with my spirit, right? That type of way. When I started to perceive it in that manner, that's when it changed the game. Like, it changed everything that was going on in my world. Not that I've ever, really been like that. But I'm just saying, for people people who might be struggling in that area, or if for real this is something that you engage in, one, again, I'm encouraging people, go get tested and make sure that if you do like frequently do that, that you go get tested often. I think the person was telling me every 30 to like 90 days or something like that, if you're, moving partners and stuff like that. But I'm really, really, right, trying to appeal to you on abstinence, like waiting until marriage, if that's something that you choose to do. And if not, honoring your body in a way that God sees fit, right? And whatever that is for you, right? Whatever that is for you, have a God speaking to you in that manner. But just know that you are important, that for real, He did buy us at a price. We're not just anybody. We're not just, able to give it away freely, because it's like, hold on now, are you worthy? Like, right, when He's telling us discern between spirits that come around you, and make sure that you notice a tree by its fruit and all this type of stuff. It's like, yeah, that stuff is important for when we are actually bonding with people. He's saying do not be unequally yoked, right? Where we're getting with people and it's just like, okay, are you worthy, right, of this? Are you worthy, right? For all, the sacredness that God has done for me and even that person, right? We hope that they're God fearing and all those types of things, but it's like we have to get real with that. It's time out for being like the world. The world is saying like, oh, well, even though I'm a woman too, or like I'm a man, I got needs and I want to do this and that. And it's like, yeah, but we're supposed to die to ourselves. Like, right, look, then I say it, uncomfortable conversations, touchy topics, we're going there. Like, we're supposed to be following Him and seriously honoring our bodies and stuff, but this is how we speak in the world. Like, I have needs, and I'm so tempted. I think somebody told me one time we could just ask for forgiveness. It's like, how you already planning to ask for forgiveness? Like, you already planning to do something wrong and you just feel like you got a cop out card. Like, no, if you truly, right, are a believer, you're truly a Christian, you're truly saying like, I want to do what's right by Him and everything. It's like, it's more than just not doing it because He says don't do it, right? And also, if you all read Revelations, it's also in the end of Revelations where it say, nah, out with the dogs. Like, for real, like that part, I'm telling you, after you read the Bible, you'll be like, oh, this ain't so tempting anymore. What have you, like, you saying out with the dogs, like with all that, if you doing that sexual immorality. But yeah, once you for real look at yourself like, hold on, I am valuable and my value goes up even higher the more pure I am. Like, right? Like, hold on, like, are you for real worthy? Like, this is how we seriously have to look at ourselves. Like, God, He's fearfully and wonderfully made us, right? Like, this is the great creator, the great potter. Like, He for real took time with us and He wants us to honor Him in that way where it's like, can you be patient? Like, can you for real, like die to yourself, your own needs and stuff that you claim, right? That your flesh is saying that you need. Can you die to that so that you can spiritually, meet me where I am, right? Because our bodies are, what did He say? We are one with Christ, right? We one with Him. So once we turn it around and we're looking at ourselves in that way, it gets a little more like serious, right? It gets a little more serious when we like, hold on, what? Like, no, are you worthy? Because this purity here, like this sacredness here, like all of this greatness here that God has, it's like, no, I'm trying to honor that. So you either need to have right? Like, you need to be, right? Everything that God is saying and all of that, because when two come together, now it's becoming one flesh. And if that's happening, we know that's biblical, like that's marriage, right? And so all these good things, I want to make sure that I like brought to the forefront, because it gets very interesting when you start to look at it in that manner, opposed to how the world looks at it, as in a casual, encounter, or something that is expected to be done. Or what do they say? You have to try it out before you, like, you gotta try it out to know if that's what you really want. And I like all the things that we say in life or in this world, and it's like, nah, that's not what God's saying, like, right. But yeah, you all know how I don't want to shove it down your throat. I'm just giving you a different perspective on how to kind of think about it, and something to make you for real reflect on some things, maybe some decisions that you make, or some ways that you perceive it, or always a good conversation starter. I would love to hear what you all think about it. But this is, yeah, these is real conversations. I would say they are adult conversations, but at the same time, it's like even young adults. Like, this is what you see a lot of the time happening in college, like undergrad, grad level. So to me, I say even them, like, right, in those 20s, that's important to have these conversations, and to for real reflect on something that we see as common and okay and just regular with anybody or anytime. And it's like, nah, your body is sacred. Like, let's be reminded of that. Like, he paid a price for us, and it's not meant for everything and everyone. What he start off saying, I have the right to do anything, yet you say not everything is beneficial. Like, right. And so we have to have that discernment. We have to have that for real, like, love for Christ, to know, right? Like, man, I have to die to myself so that I can follow him and do what he's telling me to do. Right. So yeah, that's all I have for you for the day. Hopefully it was helpful for you. I did do my best to try and keep it short. I didn't do too much for you. So hopefully it was helpful, but it's definitely something to think about. Like I said, we can be in whole serious relationships, casual relationships, open, in and out, what they have, entanglements, whatever we want to call them. But it's like, at the end of the day, all we're doing is just hoping for the best and trusting that people are doing what they're saying they're, like, that they're doing. And not only that, but even ourselves, like, we have to be real. Like, are we, being open and real with the people that we're with? Because it's a serious thing to think about, ever having some type of STI or HIV. Like, that's a serious thing, very life changing for some of it, and impacts others. So that's important to know, and definitely a responsibility if you choose to engage in those types of practices and things like that. So it's wonderful that they provide those types of services for free, and that you can find them in pretty much any place that you live, and it's accessible and affordable at some rate. Don't make it, don't get to a point where you feel like it's not affordable or that you can't access it, because there is always a way, right, to access these services where it is going to be accommodating for you. So yeah, hopefully it gives you something to think about for the day, something to chew on, and definitely I hope it helps people have some reflection and good conversation, right? On how you feel about it, especially as it concerns our bodies being a temple for Christ, and yeah, honoring it. So yeah, I shall talk to you all at another time. Bye.